All right, welcome back to the show, folks. Well, in the host chat this morning, I was telling you folks, and I was telling Deja as well, how I had the opportunity a couple of years ago to travel up north to Dawson City. And what struck me the most were the people and the landscapes.
Really?
The landscapes up in the Arctic are just stunning. You can't imagine that this is real life when you're actually standing
Well,
there.
I can't, and that's why I'm so happy that our next guests are going to be with us, because they did in fact go up to the Arctic, and they're going to show us some of the photos they took while they were there, because they're having an Arctic landscape exhibit, and it's all happening starting on the 15th and running through to the end of May down at the Distillery District in Toronto. With us now, we have Robert Poullton and Sarah Tacoma on studio.
Welcome, guys. Okay,
Hi.
so tell us about this exhibit, because you guys have both had the opportunity to travel up to some really exotic locations up north, and you're going to be showcasing that work at this event. Robbie, I'll start with you. Tell me about this event and what it's like for everything to really come together, all these artists.
It's been a long time coming. We've kind of thrown it together over the last 4 months or so. It's a full-out group exhibition. There's 6 of us in total, all of us that have traveled to the Arctic within the last year or so. Everyone from all the way up from Newfoundland to Ottawa. There's someone else from the GTA. It's from all over Canada. And the places we visited to take these photos are everywhere from northern Labrador all the way up to Nunavut in the Arctic Circle, Resolute and top of Northwest Territories. It's really everywhere in the Canadian Arctic.
Unbelievable. And Sarah, what are these adventures like to be able to go and see this Arctic firsthand?
They're amazing. Actually, the company that we went with, Adventure Canada, they talk about the Arctic fever. They refer to the desire to go back there as the Arctic fever, and it's very true. I've definitely caught it. So.
You caught the bug.
Yeah, you definitely you can't get enough. It's stunning. It's gorgeous.
And Robert, you've also caught the bug. What is it like logistically to get to some of these locations, because they're pretty remote?
They are very remote. Adventure Canada runs these trips through. Well, they're basically ship-based, so we fly into a port that are usually accessible, but not quite accessible. Usually gravel runways. You know, it's a little bit of a hairy landing, but it's usually okay. And we hop right on a ship, and the best way to get to these tiny little hamlets and towns and the amazing landscapes is by ship.
Wow! So it really is like an adventure.
It is.
Yeah.
Lewis and Clark style.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, you're meeting interesting people along the way. I know both of you take photos of people as well while you're there, but this exhibit really just focuses on the landscapes. Is that right?
Primarily, yeah.
Exactly. We're going to take a look at some of the photos actually right now to give you an idea what these Arctic landscapes are really like. This is gorgeous. So this is just the ice sitting on top of the water.
Yeah,
Robert, I believe this is yours.
Floating pack ice in the middle of Baffin Bay.
You know, it's interesting. When I was up in the Arctic and I was in Dawson, you're standing there, and as I said, sometimes it doesn't seem like you're in a real place.
Right.
It is that stunning. I snapped it with my, little handy cam.
Point and shoot.
It doesn't translate. It's flat. Your pictures really pop. What is behind that? What's the art of really taking the perfect photograph to capture that?
A lot of practice. There's times when you're standing in a place and you almost feel like you can't even take a picture because you can't capture the whole feeling of that place.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of practice and years of study and just experimenting. You just got to experiment and try everything.
Well, you really are surrounded by this amazing landscape. It's all around you. So how do you know where to focus your eye? Like I would find that to be the most difficult part.
I don't know. I think you're just drawn to a certain spot. Like we could be in the exact same spot and we would take pictures of totally different things.
And I guess you bring your personality and your experiences to that. You must have amounted so many different stories and so many interesting stories along the way, because it is like a journey.
Yeah.
Is there one thing that really stands out to you, or one story from all these travels?
Visiting Nunavut and the Inuit people is an amazing experience. You don't actually realize how current they really are. We came into a port, I believe it was, I'm going to say Grease Fjord, which is only about 300 people, I think. And all the kids, they all run up to you and they start to talk to you and they want to know about what's the newest Jay-Z track out. Or you've heard something they haven't heard, but they all have laptops and iPods, and it was mind-blowing for me.
Yeah, they're emailing from one igloo to the other. No, it's not really like that. Well, I think that's really funny, because when you talk to people who are from further south and you talk about being Canadian, that's usually their first impression, that we all live in the Arctic and we all live surrounded by ice and snow. What is it like to actually be now surrounded by ice and snow? Do you feel more Canadian at that moment?
I don't know, I guess, kind of.
We kind of go up there during the summertime, so a lot of the snow has melted.
That's true.
if you get into the farther into the Arctic Circle, into places like Resolute, there is a little bit of melting, but there's not a lot. There's still like a good snow coverage.
And here's another one of the photos that we were just looking at. That's another one of the ice breaks. You guys also photograph icebergs as well.
We do have some
tell me,
iceberg shots.
in your time going up there, have you seen differences in the actual landscape when it comes to, you know, some of these topics that we're talking about in terms of global warming, and people that travel up north say that there's definitely a difference if you have gone there over a large span of time. Have you found that as well?
Well, traveling with Adventure Canada, they bring a lot of botanists and the occasional scientist along just as reference. They can teach you as you're there. It's a great learning experience. Actually, the image just to our right here, that's a receding glacier. And over the past, I believe it was 20 years, that glacier, which is the white section right in the middle, was as high as the mountainsides.
Really?
Wow.
Okay, we're going to touch on that now. Of course, you're just saying that this is receding so drastically, so that the ice actually used to reach the top of these hills, these mountains?
That's correct.
And now it's obviously so much lower. Now, this was taken in the summertime, you mentioned?
Yeah, in mid-August.
Okay, so it's melting a little bit at this time, but obviously you would see those differences
The
still.
foreground is a rather large lake, and obviously that's produced by the melting of the glacier.
Do you hope to, you know, really convey that message? Is there a deeper message with this exhibit that you really want to convey with the photography and with the landscapes?
I think more along the lines of just creating some awareness of how gorgeous the Canadian Arctic is, and maybe bringing a little more awareness towards what an amazing tourism destination it can be.
Sarah, we're going to take a look at one of your photos in just a moment. When you come home from an adventure like this, and I'm sure friends and family approach you right away and say, what was your favorite part? That's usually my least favorite thing to ask people, but I'm going to ask you that very question. What was your favorite part that you experienced on these trips?
I think my favorite part was standing in this one fjord, Nakvak Fjord, and it's just so huge, and you see there's remnants of past civilizations there, you know, the old Inuit communities that lived there thousands of years ago. And it's just stunning, and you can just feel like this energy coming up out of the earth, and it's just stunningly beautiful.
Well, I can't wait to show our audience some more photos, and we're going to do just that when we come back to introduce you to some of these Arctic landscapes perhaps you've never seen before, never will experience firsthand, but we're going to give you a chance to see just that, Arctic landscapes, when we come back after this short break.
I'm trying.